Hey, welcome back. I'm Wes Wood, the Income Guy, and thank you for joining me today as we talk about the inflation-proof retirement plan. So far, we've looked at how the current inflation situation is and how it's affecting the markets. Now, let's talk more about the broader impacts of inflation on retirement. The immediate effects of inflation are always obvious, but the long-term effects are more subtle and even more dangerous. And that's especially true when you're retired or close to retirement. At this stage of life, inflation hits you much harder than you did when you were younger. One reason is because you can no longer count on a cost of living raise from your job to keep pace with inflation. You may think you can count on it from Social Security, from your Social Security check, but not in reality. Matter of fact, Social Security's annual cost of living adjustment, or known as COLA, often doesn't cut it because it's based on the standard consumer price index, not the consumer price index for the elderly. The consumer price index for the elderly is a separate index that measures the impact of inflation on people 65 years old and older. Sometimes you get no COLA increase at all. And even when you do, oftentimes it's wiped out by the increased cost of your Medicare Part B. A LIMRA Retirement Institute study found that even 1% inflation rate, your Social Security benefits can lose, on average, about $34,000 worth of spending power over a 20-year period. At 3%, inflation would swallow up more than $117,000. And historically, the average inflation rate is around 3.5%, which makes the LIMRA model even too conservative. But it's also conservative in another way. It measures the effects of inflation over just 20 years. And the reality is, like we've talked about before, you need to plan for at least 30 years of retirement income. And you need a plan that can handle the effects of inflation over all that time. And I'll talk more about that in just a second. But right now, here's your chance to learn more by reading my timely report, 7 Risks to Your Retirement. And it's free with your complimentary retirement income kit. And it's all yours by visiting retiretv.com or by calling my office directly at 615-826-5749. But now, let's welcome back income specialist David Scranton. Hey, Dave.
Wes, it's funny, when you talk about Social Security, you mentioned one of the reasons why the cost of living raises that Social Security recipients receive tends to fall behind the true rate of inflation, but there are other reasons too for that, correct?
There are. I mean, if the cost of living adjustment has historically averaged with Social Security a little over 2%. And we all know inflation is closer to 3.5, maybe even 5, which means that it may not be keeping up with inflation by just half as much. It really needs to be double that amount. But the reason why, perhaps the cost of living adjustment with Social Security has been so low is that it's really the way for the government to perhaps not have to give out as much of an increase every single year, so they're saving themselves money while inflation is going much, much higher than Social Security. But yeah, there's several reasons because of that.
I know you mentioned a lot of times the increased benefit you get from Social Security gets taken back by the increased cost of Medicare Part B, so the government kind of giveth with one hand and taketh back with the other, right? But in some ways that's understandable because the effects of inflation on health care are much greater than most of the other goods and services that a retiree would buy, correct?
That's right. If you really measured inflation for retirees, health care is one of the big ones that often goes without talking about. But it is one of the areas that retirees spend money on more than pretty much every other group of life. And that type of inflation on healthcare is going up much faster than most other costs. I know for a fact that I live right across the street from a retirement facility, basically a nursing home. And just a few years ago when I moved in my house, 5 years ago, the cost for at-home stay there was around $65,000. After just 5 years, it's already up to $100,000. So you're looking at healthcare costs, which mostly comes out of the retirees' pockets, could be increasing as much as 5 to 7%, which can have a major impact on how much income they're going to need later on in life.
Yeah, and a lot of people think, well, that's okay if I need convalescent care after I'm out of my assets, we'll just go ahead and the state will pick up the tab. But the reality of it is, I would guarantee that any of your viewers, your regular viewers that watch your show on a weekly basis, probably not one of them, when they've done their written retirement goals, has said that one of their goals is to move into a convalescent home later in life. Most people want to have that inflation hedge so that they can stay in the comfort of their home and maybe have full-time home health care as something that would be preferred over going to a convalescent facility, for example. But the income model in and of itself, if done right, does take into account inflation, right?
Right. Yeah, if it's done right, because there's a lot of different types of strategies that can be used within the income model. So for somebody that's really looking to keep up with inflation, bonds probably aren't going to cut it so much because it is a fixed payment of interest for a set amount of time. May not quite be enough there to completely keep up with inflation. So a lot of times it's good to pepper in some of those other types of investments in the income model. For instance, BDCs or business development corporations have a floating rate interest. So as they're charging more interest to the companies that they're loaning money to, you're probably going to see your dividends go up. So that's a nice inflation hedge. REITs, a real estate investment trust. If you do a corporate REITs, there's going to be tenants that have leases that renew over time, and as those leases are renewing over time, odds are the cost of leases are going up, therefore the dividend checks are probably increasing to the investors. And also dividend value-based dividend stocks have a very nice inflation hedge because perhaps those dividends can increase over time. So just buying a bond may not quite cut it, which is why it's really important to have just a good mix of all these different types of managed fixed income positions, managed by an income specialist to keep up with these rising inflation costs.
Sounds like you're not talking about your grandma's income portfolio. Back in the day when you had a whole bunch of government bonds paying 7%. It's right. A little different today, and that's part of the reason, too, why active management expertise is so important, more so than before, I would think.
Yeah, it's like when my grandfather retired back in the early 80s. He sold his department store down in Moss Point, Mississippi for $100,000. Put that money into a FDIC-insured bank CD. Well, at the time, in the early 80s, interest rates at the bank were very, very high, 12%. Yeah. He was getting $1,000 a month. Heck, wow. If we could do that today, we would do it for all of our retirees. But now, of course, he would only get about instead of $1,000 a month, maybe $100 a month. But yeah, good point, David. And thanks again, and you stick around. Coming back after the break, we're going to talk about yet another type of inflation that can take its toll on retirees. I'm Wes Wood, the Income Guy, and you're watching the Retirement Income Show.
A fiduciary is someone legally obligated to act in your best interest. Doctors, lawyers, and some financial advisors are fiduciaries, but not all. When you work with Wes Wood and his team at Wood Financial Group, you are working with fiduciaries. They help clients create customized investment portfolios based off their retirement goals. If you're ready to work with a fiduciary, visit retiretv.com and schedule a free, no-obligation conversation with Wes or a Wood Financial Group advisor.